Hi Aquarius, welcome or welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. We're talking about March today, which is crazy to me. I'll probably say that every month going forward because I'm always just so surprised when a new month is like around the corner. So I hope February has been treating you well, is treating you well. It was pretty busy for me. I actually launched an Etsy store. I would love it if you checked it out. Of course, there's no pressure to buy anything. If you feel connected to something that you would like to purchase, I would love that. But if you could, just fill the space with a ton of love so that other people will want to buy stuff. I appreciate it. So let's talk about you. We do a 4-card spread. The first card is the current energy. To the left of that is any potential blocks. Underneath that is advice for clearing the block. And then what's next, like the energy that you're heading into. I don't shuffle reversals into the deck, but if the cards come out in the reverse, we'll keep them that way. And interesting story with that too. So usually like when I get a new deck, I just kind of handle it a lot. I keep it close to me. I'll ask it random questions, do a bunch of readings with it. Just kind of trying to calibrate our energies. And the first few times that I picked this deck up, and I shuffle all of my decks the same exact way. I'm a bit OCD that way. And the first few times I picked up the deck, there was reversals shuffled into it. And I was like, oh my gosh, am I losing my mind? So after the third or fourth time, I literally I set the cards in front of me and I was like, look, we need to have a little meeting. And I seriously, I explained to them that I don't intentionally shuffle reversals into my cards. That's just a personal preference, but I very much work with them if they come out that way. And ever since then, there has not been a single reversal shuffled into the deck, which is just so funny to me. So I'm glad that I get to share that story with you guys because somebody who maybe doesn't really, mess around with tarot or just kind of, that side of things, they would probably be like, what in the hell are you talking about? You might be thinking that too, but I feel like you get it. So the cards actually do need to fall out of the deck. If they flip in the deck, we'll just flip them over and keep it moving. And then my intention is just for one card to come out at a time. But if 2 cards come out together, we'll take 2. Any more than 2, we'll just put it back in the deck because we want the message to be super clear. So what is the current energy for Aquarius? That's too many. What's the current energy for Aquarius? 7 of Swords. And the 10 of Swords. A lot of mental stuff going on here. I know the swords are air cards, which is very much your energy, right? The 7 of Swords talks about deception, kind of being a little sneaky. It also talks about risk. Obviously, we have this figure here that looks like they might be eavesdropping on a situation but really, I'm just kind of being called to how, the light is shining on this figure. So there seems to be, light coming to the situation also. We have the 10 of Swords at the bottom of the deck. And the Ten of Swords is a little bit of defeat. The swords talk about our thoughts, right? And like how we perceive a situation, how we perceive our realities, right? And when we get to the Ten of Swords, it's kind of like, you know, we have thought our way through all of the what ifs, everything that could happen. Generally, we're kind of thinking about, you know, it's like we focus on the things that could go wrong, though, right? I mean, those are the things that kind of get us down. And, you know, the Ten of Swords, this person is, you know, like it's hard for them to move forward, right? Like just kind of trying to crawl. We have this figure here. So there's actually 9 swords. And this figure is carrying the 10th sword. So this could go a couple different ways. This could be, you know, the straw that broke the camel's back. You know how that saying goes? And this person is coming up to put one more sword in this figure and kind of finish the job. But this could also be the Ace of Swords. Like this could be the Sword of Truth. This could be somebody coming in with a new idea, with a new perspective, or like a new way of thinking about things. This could even be your higher self coming in. We have the Page of Pentacles underneath that, which Pentacles talks about our money, materials, resources. It could talk about our physical body. But with the page, you know, it's the apprentice type energy. It's like the first thing you need to do is kind of find the key, right? Like discover what the key is. Because I'm just kind of being, my attention's being called to this key here. And then from there, it's kind of like, you know, the journey to find what lock the key fits into, right? And I also like how grounded he is. I mean, he's got his hand in the dirt there, right? So I know, you know, like air can be, you know, air can kind of lift you off of the ground, right? And just kind of swirl you around and maybe kind of get you mixed up. But, you know, it's kind of this reminder to stay grounded. And then we have the Knight of Swords behind that, which is, you know, this idea that you're going towards. She's also in the middle of this maze. Again, with that Sword of Truth, right? Like that's the Ace of Swords there. And just really kind of holding on to this vision. Like, you know, the vision is kind of the thing that's lighting your way. We have the Six of Swords behind that. Moving away from a perception or the way that you're seeing the situation. This is also, you know, just kind of universally guided. Like you're being guided away from the thing. I can keep going. I mean, we have the Ace of Wands behind there. And I love that the Ace of Wands has this Phoenix here. Reborn. I mean, the Magician is behind that. We'll just kind of see how the story progresses here. This could even be you know, just kind of playing mind tricks like on yourself. Maybe even just kind of getting lost in your thoughts. And like I said, you know, it does talk about kind of taking a risk too. So, I mean, there could be something that you are kind of gearing up on to take a risk for, and maybe you haven't quite shared all of the information yet. Maybe you even feel like it's a risk. So we have the Six of Wands in the blocked position. And the Six of Wands is victory, success, recognition, right? So this could be, you know, like you may be afraid that, or maybe that's just kind of where your fear lies, is that you're not going to be successful or not going to get the recognition that you deserve. We have the Two of Swords at the bottom of the deck. And the Two of Swords talks about indecision. This is also, you know, so she's got two masks here. Yet her kind of features are gone, right? So this depiction of the Two of Swords talks about how we get so wrapped up in wearing these masks that we almost kind of lose our identity in the process. So, you know, since we're talking about the blocked position, this could be that maybe you're trying to find your identity in your field. Or maybe even feel like you don't have your own identity in your field yet. We have the Six of Pentacles behind that. The Six of Pentacles talks about charity. You know, it talks about having enough to share with somebody else. It can also talk about like a loan, whether that be, you know, like a loan from an establishment or like a loan from a friend or family member. This could also just be that, like, you know, because again, we're talking about the blocked position here. So this could also be not wanting to accept charity. And then there's the Ten of Swords page of Pentacles, Queen of Wands. Yeah, so just a lot of, you know, kind of mental gymnastics here. And I get it. I feel like, you know, I feel like for most people, that is the process that you kind of go through. And especially any type of significant life change. And, you know, obviously like significant in however you deem significant to be, right? But any type of change, right? I mean, of course, we're going to kind of consider all of the ways that we're going to fail or not succeed. And almost, you know, like this bargaining with the universe thing, right? Like, because, you know, we do kind of have to grieve an old way of doing things. And, just kind of consider, right? Like all of the ways that a situation can play out, but maybe just kind of throwing in there all of the ways that it could work out for your benefit. So We have, for the advice on clearing the block, we have the Six of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups. Again, you know, the Six of Pentacles talks about charity. It also talks about reciprocity, right? Like, this is still an energy exchange, right? I'm kind of almost getting this message that, you know, being able to, you know, provide this person with this coin, you know, whatever it is, right? A donation or whatever, you know, kind of gives this person an opportunity to get to a position where they would then be able to pay it forward, right? So just kind of this idea of paying it forward. And then we have the Queen of Cups. And the Queen of Cups, Cups talks about our emotions, right? The Queen is very intuitive. It looks like she's on a ship here, and, you know, there's all these waves kind of going on back here. You know, it almost just kind of looks a little bit chaotic, but she's just standing here, kind of casually holding on to her cup here, and even, you know, the liquid coming out of her cup. But very in control of the way that she feels like her emotions are in control, right? And also maybe even making decisions from your emotional body versus making decisions from your headspace, because I personally believe that, you know, like our headspace is the worst place to be. And especially the worst place to make a decision from, because that's where our ego lives, right? And our egos are all about keeping us safe, keeping us in our comfort box, right? Like being able to predict what's going to happen next so that your ego and your body know how to respond to those exterior stimuli, right? But that doesn't mean that it's correct, right? That doesn't mean it's a right thing for us to do. So, you know, we just kind of sink into our emotional body and we start asking our emotional body, like our heart space, what is it that makes me feel good? How do I want my life to feel going forward? Does this thing that I, you know, kind of have this fear of either failure or, you know, fear of succeeding at, is that thing going to make me feel good in the long run though? Like not even worrying about being successful or not, right? Just going for it because it fills your cup. We have this depiction of the Ten of Swords. So that's a cool thing about this deck, is that there's two alternative cards. It's the Ten of Swords and the Three of Swords. So we've already seen the traditional depiction of the Ten of Swords twice, right? This depiction, the alternative depiction of the Ten of Swords, is relying on your knowledge and your wisdom, right? Like, you know, owls have the symbology for owls is wisdom and guidance, right? So, you know, we got all these swords kind of in their body, right? Like I was just saying with the emotional body. And then we have this kind of older figure here, and they're level. They're looking at each other in the eyes, right? Like game recognizes game. So, you know, it's using the knowledge that you've gained throughout the years, the months, whatever, in the field that you're working in. and using that to propel you forward. Like, when you get to the 10, like, you have all of the information that you need. You have all the knowledge that you need. And now it's just relying on that. This could be, since there's 2 figures in here, this could be that, there is somebody else, like a mentor of some kind, that could help you just kind of organize all of this knowledge and information. Somebody a bit more seasoned. The 8 of Wands is behind that. The 8 of Wands talks about kind of fast-moving communication. The Wands talk about action and communication. So, this is you being able to move forward. And then we have the 10 of Pentacles behind that. And the 10 of Pentacles talks about stability, family, right? Like, again, with the Pentacles, it's having your needs met. You have enough resources, you have enough materials, you have enough money coming in for, we have this family down here, staircase, we've got a house up here, and, like all of these kind of pentacles growing off this tree, right? Like, you have everything that you need. And what's cool about this one too is that, we kind of have this aged hand here and this younger hand that, they're kind of reaching for each other, to me anyway. And, again, like, this could be somebody passing their knowledge on to you. This could even be some sort of inheritance. This is, almost just kind of like 2 worlds colliding. Like, the traditional teachings with like new age stuff. Or just like a new way of doing things that are kind of unique to you. But it's, you have kind of this foundation of tradition behind it. We have the Queen of Swords behind that. There it is again with the Sword of Truth. Holding on to that vision, right? And that vision is grounded through truth. The Ace of Swords cuts through bullshit pretty easily too. And then we have the World card. And then look at this. A true ending of a cycle right into the Fool. Beautiful. The Hermit, 3 of Wands. Beautiful. I mean, there's success here. So this, if you are just kind of like fooling yourself, like just kind of keeping yourself kind of on that hamster wheel. If there is this fear that, you're not going to be successful, that is literally all in your mind. And there's almost kind of this invitation here to ask your body, and, just a really good exercise too, if it's available to you, is putting your feet in the ground. And I know, in the Northern Hemisphere, it's winter. So of course, if it's safe to do so, but putting your feet in the ground and just kind of, oh my gosh. So putting your feet in the ground and just, kind of feeling the energy coming from, like, out of your head, down through your body and out through your feet. And also, just kind of like feeling how it kind of like snakes through, like on its way down, right? Like, just kind of allow those things to, your thoughts and all of that energy that's kind of getting stuck up in your head. Just kind of feel how it works its way down through your body. And then, you know, when it gets to your heart space, even just kind of check in, you know, is it something that your heart actually believes? Because 10 times out of 10 for me, it's a no. It's, you know, my head is telling me that, you know, this thing is not going to work. Whatever the case may be, right? All of the stuff that we tell ourselves. And then my heart is like, just go for it. You know, like you deserve this thing. And, even starting a YouTube channel, it took me about a year to do, because it was so much in my head. And finally, too, you know, because then I just got to a point where I would just let all of those fears come up instead of trying to stuff them down. So that way, you know, like I let all of the fears come up, and that way I can face them for one. And I can also just kind of work through them. Like, where is that fear even coming from? Like, where did that idea come from? Is that mine, or is that somebody else's? Right? And then it just kind of got to a point where there was no other fear coming up. Like, there was no other story except for actually doing the thing. Like, the only thing left to do was to actually start the channel. And I did, right? So again, just getting out of our heads. So how beautiful is this? Because this is you and this is you, right? I mean, this is Aquarius energy. This is Aquarius energy, right? Not to mention, you know, we have the star, you know, she's just kind of, really kind of focused on this star here. And then look at even, you know, the King of Swords, and where that vision is now, right? So the star card talks about holding on to hope. This is the place where our prayers lie. At least, like, for me, like, that's the energy, is between the physical 3D world and the spiritual realm, right? Like, that's where the star card is. And even just, you know, kind of this invitation, since this is your energy, to focus on being in that in between. And maybe that's even kind of what brings you to this King of Swords energy. Here we go again with the Sword of Truth. He's got this compass kind of where his heart is, right? And then this vision is at the crown space. He's out of the maze now, right? Like, he's conquered the maze. This is the highest expression of the sword's suit also, right? So it's discipline, it's clarity in thought. It's knowing exactly what you're going to do and the path that you're going to take to do it. Because you've been through this maze already. There's this kind of contract looking thing here. So that could be something of significance that comes up at some point. This could even be like a soul contract. This could be something about like stepping into your purpose, like what you are here to do. Beautiful. And then, you know, we have this depiction of the Ten of Swords again, but you know, even more so now, I'm just kind of getting this feeling, because it's interesting that, you know, we started, like, look where we started, right? This Seven of Swords, and the Ten of Swords was at the bottom of the deck then too, right? And look where we are now with the Star and the King of Swords, and back here with the Ten of Swords, but more so now, this is somebody bringing in this truth. This seems to be somebody coming in to help. And like I said, this could be your higher self. It could be an actual person. It could actually be you bringing truth to the situation. We have the Six of Cups underneath that, which talks about, you know, just kind of nostalgia, talks about looking to our past to gain, you know, kind of clarity even in our emotions again. This could be somebody from your past coming in to help. And then we have the High Priestess, which, you know, that's what I'm saying, that the High Priestess could be what's bringing in this sort of truth here. You know, the High Priestess is intuition. I always see the High Priestess as being our higher self. The yin and yang, I mean, there's balance coming in. You might even be getting downloads of some kind. Like she could be whispering in your ear. And then the King of Pentacles. This is success in the 3D realm. This is having an abundance of what, I mean, you have more than enough. And even, you know, again, with this pentacle being at his heart space where, you know, the compass is at the King of Swords heart space, right? So just really kind of feeling into, again, you know, like getting into your physical, your body and checking in with how you feel about something and holding on to that as far as, you know, what kind of guides you. Our egos are always going to be there, right? Like it's kind of like our egos just need to be shown a different way of doing things. So, you know, when the fear comes up, it's kind of like, you know, recognizing it, right? Like I see you, I understand why you're afraid, but we have to go do this anyway. So, you know, take my hand, let's go, right? And just really kind of using your heart and your emotions to be the guiding force of, you know, this vision for your life. Beautiful. I can't even get over, I can't get over how there's double Aquarius here at the end. This is, you know, I mean, just totally reclaiming yourself. Absolutely beautiful. And I am going to leave it there. Thank you so much for coming on this journey with me. And I'm so happy to be on the journey with you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.